Today's topic is India 2047, an alternative vision. Hello, everybody. Good to be with you once again. Today we have with us Keshab Mandal. He is going to tell us his vision of India 2047. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Mathur. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on such a wonderful topic, which is very close to both of us. And before beginning the interaction, I should tell you and the audience that I'm not an economist
Okay.
because for last few days I have watched some of your videos, and I have seen that most of the people with whom you have interacted are mostly young economists, and uh, and on the video part you have written economic matters or economic matter like that. So I am a student of political science. Also, I am a teacher of political science, and I am doing research for last 23 years on various topics. But my most close topic is Panchayati Raj system in India, empowerment of women in local governments, sustainable development goals, and I have written about state politics, West Bengal government, where I reside and where I stand. So West Bengal government, the issues and constraints of development, like this gender and empowerment, a comparative analysis between USA and India, like this. So for many days, I was thinking that India was celebrating Amrit Mahotsav, and after that, from 2022, India is now under celebration of Amrit Kal. So that is a period of 25 years from 2022 to 2047. So when, yes, we will complete when uh, in 2047, just 100 years after of our independence. So I thought that I am actually a patriotic Indian, and I love my country, and most of my friends know, and my one of my friends, Nitar, he was just pursuing me. He was just telling me, requesting me for many days that Keshav, you write some books. What you write, it is beyond our knowledge. We cannot understand your hard words you write about gender, sustainable development, local government, and particularly you were writing for one section of society, that is women. So he requested me to write a book which will touch almost every section of society. He said that you try to write something that will touch the lips of general people. Try to do something. I said that you see, so many scholars have done so many works. And what is the scope? I am normally a researcher, but he said that yes, always there remains scope. So the same thing has told by different people in their own style. So I thought that okay, so after finishing my other last research, then I devoted myself in this novel task. Actually, you see, the name of the work, or the actually this is the part, this is the book. I have given two alternative names. Number one, Vision 2047. India 2047, a vision. Right?
Yeah.
Another name I have given, the secret keys of development in India. So these are the two names I have suggested to my publisher. Now it's up to the publisher to decide. It is 472-page book, and when it was what is say arranged in 6 by 9 inch format, then I said that it is 1072 pages, so it's a bit fat volume. Okay, so let me begin my topic. India 2047, a vision. Today, I would like to share with you about my vision.
Sure.
India. Thank you. So let me divide my discussion into three parts. At first, I would like to tell you about what is my actual vision? Number two, what are the constraints standing in the way of achieving this vision? And thirdly, only telling the constraints and problems is not sufficient, because always the government and the people wants to know about the remedies, what remedies you are giving for the problems. So this is the most important part, right? So let me begin with my
Yes, please.
vision.
Please begin.
Thank you. Thank you. You see, government of India uh, is visualizing to achieve $5 trillion economy, right? And I think that why $5 trillion economy? I have set a very big target, that is $25 trillion economy by 2047.
Okay.
I want to see my country will be a superpower. My country, India, will achieve a $25 trillion economy. But the question is, seeing a dream is very easy. But
Yes.
how to achieve? You have to give the blueprint to the government. You have to show the roadmap to the government. You have to show the roadmap to the people, how they can achieve this. So this I will tell you. At first, you see, vision that which I have, what I say, portrayed in my mind, in the canvas of my mind. This is the vision. So I said that $25 trillion uh, is my target. But what is the situation? Let me say, at present, in every city, every third person in an Indian city is a youth, right? So at present, Indian population, as per Worldometer, dated 1st August 2023, is 142 crore 97,000, like this. That is roughly 1.42 billion. And it is projected to be 1.61 billion in the year 2047, right? So the Economic Times reports on 14th August 2022 that in 2020, India had about 67% of its population in the working age group of 15 to 64. So this segment known as demographic dividend. So in place of 15 to 65, you see, in India, it is the general standard of the United Nations, but or IMF, 15 to 65. But I have a very the strong, what is a protest in selecting these age group, because now 15 years is a time for studying, or 15 years is a time for gaining or attaining education. In my country, in India, 15, when a student, when a boy attains or a girl attains 15 years age, he studies in class 9. So, you see, a 9 standard student should not get involved in economic activities. It is the time of growing. It is the time of, this is a street time, once my teacher said. Porimal Gandhi Sarkar said that this is the shade time. So we have to develop our skill. We have to develop our capability during this time. So instead of taking 15 to 64 years age, I would like to take the population of 25 to 64 years. That's it. So you see, so then this person, this 25 to 64 years population I have selected.
Yes.
And right, and you see, $1 trillion, how much is equal to 82 lakh 74,050 crore Indian rupees.
Yes.
So the figure will be like this: INR 8274050
Yeah.
So if this amount is multiplied by 82.74 rupees, Indian rupees, because it is the exchange rate of today, sir. Today
Yes.
I saw this is the exchange rate,
Yes.
82.74 rupees per US dollar.
Yes.
So if this amount is divided by 80 crore people in the 25 to 64, 25 lakh 85,005 per annum. So per annum, every no, not 80 crore Indian individual will have to earn this 25 crore 85,578 US dollar per annum. So
Yes.
if I further divide this amount by 12 months, then in a month it becomes 2,15,064 rupees. Right. So this might be a little difficult at this moment because in India at present, only 3%, people, only 3% of Indian earn over rupees 25 lakh per annum. So this is the fact, and it has come out in India.com. Raja Raghav Agarwal, he wrote this in May 2022. And till July 2022, it is found that more than 5.8 crore income tax returns were filed by assessment of 22-23. But when I see that a ray of hope. Where do I find a ray of hope? Just yesterday, sir, I read an article. It was published by the Economic Times, and Ishan Gera, a correspondent of the Economic Times, he wrote an article. It was published yesterday only in the Times of India, in the Economic Times, I said. He wrote that capital accumulation and enhancement in physical and digital infrastructure will drive and sustain Indian economy to average 6.7% growth between financial year 24 and financial year 31, and double the size of the economy to $6.7 trillion within the next 8 years.
Okay. Right. All right.
So it also forecasted that India's per capita GDP will increase to 4,500 US dollar by financial year 31. So this is a good picture, and I see that at present, sir, India's GDP is $3.7 trillion. Right, it is according to IMF, and India's per capita income is 2,600 US dollar. It's much lower than all the 10 richest countries in the world. When I study more, I find that the US economy, the size of US economy is $26.8 trillion, while China holds second position. It has $19.37 trillion economy. Japan has $4.4 trillion economy. Germany has $4.3 trillion economy, and next comes India. That's it. India's economy is, the size of India's economy is $3.7 trillion.
Yeah.
And I see the next comes our former colonial master, that is the United Kingdom. Their total GDP is $3.1 trillion, while France comes in the seventh position with $2.9 trillion, Italy $2.1 trillion, and then Canada with $2 trillion, $2,090 billion actually. Right. So this is the economy, and ours is the lowest per capita income with only $2,600 per head. So where from do I get hope? You see,
yeah,
at present, Indian situation is that in last 9 years, I find that India grew its GDP from 2.4 lakh crore to 2.75 lakh crore rupees. That means, sir, 1.71 lakh crore in almost 1 decade. India was successful in increasing its GDP from 2.04 lakh crore to 3.75 lakh crore in last 9 years from
Yeah.
2014 to 2023, 22. Take it. In this way, in general term, if we consider that India, if we think that how much India can earn in next 23 years, in next 23 years, because 2047 now it is 23, so 22 years, right?
Yeah.
So say that if in this rate India grows, that 1.7 trillion dollar multiplied by 2.3 decades, then it would be 3.93 trillion dollar or maximum $4 trillion. So then after 23 years in 2047, what might be the maximum GDP of India? It shows that it would be $7.68 trillion in 2047, but my target is $25 trillion economy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
huge gap. Here I am going to say how it can be achieved. So before that, I would like to tell you some other data. I have seen that India has witnessed 7.2% gross domestic product, which is higher compared to other major economies in the world. Only, Indonesia has been able to achieve 5.2% growth. That holds the second position, and so there's a hope that India can grow continuously for next at least for 20 years at this rate. 7.2% India's GDP growth may continue. And in a report published by Ernst and Young Global Limited, it was published from the UK on 11th April 2023, it says that India's working age population will reach its highest level at 68.9% by 2023. So India is the most young country.
Yes.
India is the most young country now. So India's working age population will reach 68.9% in 2030. So by the year 2030, India's dependency ratio will also be decreased by 31.2%. Means children below the age of 15 and people after the age of 65.
Yeah.
So in absolute numbers, India will have in 2030, India will have 1.4 billion working age population. 1.4 billion working age population. It's a huge working age population, and these working age population are skilled. Most of them are skilled. They are having knowledge of computer. They are having knowledge of internet. They can speak good English, and many of them are having some other qualities. They are having MBAs. They are having information technology base and some other things. So this is a huge pool of population or workforce India is having. So India can boost up it. And not only that, it is reported that 24.3% of the incremental global workforce over the next decade will come from India. So, sir, India will supply 24.3% of the global workforce. This is also a big force.
Yeah.
Big force. Okay. So not only that, so far and for many years, Indian women were not participating properly or very actively in economic activities. But see, this report, Ernst of Young Global Limited, published a report that says that nearly 49% of total enrollment in higher education comprised female students. So this is a good trend that women or the female students are also being equipped to take active participation in economic activities. Next, same, the annual increase of India's IT and BPO services is estimated to 2.14 million graduates, and India is also the global leader in STEM graduates at 47.1%. India government has given too much emphasis on STEM, means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects. Right. So, and India's purchasing power of young people, not young people, the average pupils purchasing power, sir, has been increased, increased too much, increased a lot. And you see, increased, and even our consumption rate has also been increased. And private final consumption expenditure has grown at a CAGR of 11.3%, and the ratio of private final consumption expenditure to GDP has increased from 55% to 60%. So this is also a huge growth in India. And yes, I told repeatedly, I am telling that my target is to achieve $25 trillion economy. And the strength, where from I get the strength?
Yes.
That, sir, our life expectancy, though is in comparison to other developed countries, our years of life expectancy, or our life expectancy is lesser, but still in 2023, it has become 69.7 years. And within this, 68.4% for male, and women live for 71.1 years. Always women live more than us.
Yes.
This is the trend in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional advantage. What is the additional advantage? See, India has already more than 240 billionaires.
Yeah.
It was, and only Mukesh Ambani, who is known or famous throughout the world, his wealth is rupees 7 lakh 18,000 crore.
Yeah.
7 lakh 18,000 crore. Okay. While Gautam Adani and his family earned 5 lakh 5,900 crore in 2021.
Yeah.
A more interesting fact is that in a single day, Mukesh Ambani and his family created a wealth of around 163 crores, whereas Gautam Adani and his family around the world amassed or gathered 1,002 crores in just one day.
Yeah.
In just one day, Gautam Adani and his family earned this much amount, this 1,002 crores. Okay, but I do not want this kind of unequal growth. I think that there will be equitable and inclusive growth. But it is not that a particular section, only the rich 10% will amass the entire wealth, while the poor 90% people will remain in darkness. This cannot run, and I cannot support. And I think that none of the economists in the world will support this. Everybody will support for equitable what is the distribution of wealth. So I think that we have to, that our poor people, our rural people, all people, and our backward community people, our minority people, they all will take part equally in economic activities and earn their decent living, which is a goal of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal also. So my another source of hope is that India's national education policy. Sir, I have written a book on national education policy.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had the opportunity to be a member of the National Education Committee in West Bengal. So there, as a participant, I had to study the policy, and I studied the education system of Finland, because Finnish education system is the best education system in the world.
Okay.
And I studied also Japanese education system, and our British education system, but I focused mainly Japanese education system and Finnish or Finland's education system. And I found that India's education system now is the best education system so far created or so far formulated by any government in India. Sir, our first education policy was formulated in 1968, and then second education policy was formulated in 1982, and
Yeah.
it was further it was further modified in 1992. But still now, for last 3 decades, there was no good education policy. We were running, or we were our education system was going on the basis of the former 3 decade old education policy.
Right.
So it was the demand of the time. There was a necessity of formulating a good education system. Actually, say the education system or education policy will guide the universities, colleges, schools, and all education institutions, teachers, to make sustainable development of a country. So this is just a direction. This is a policy, means a direction which will guide the educationists and educational managers or educational administrators. I would like to tell a few important components that.
Yeah.
So, say, uh, India's literacy rate in the meantime, though very little, has increased. In 2011, India's education rate was 73%, but in 23, it has been increased to 77%, comprising 84.7% males and 70.3% females. So education rate has been increased, but it is also very poor, I would say, because so many people, not less than 35 crore people are illiterate in India, whereas the total population in the United States of America is 33 crore.
Yeah.
But here in India, more than 33% people are illiterate. This is a matter of shame. So government of India, in line with the sustainable development goal of inclusive and continuous education, the government of India has had to formulate a policy on education. Right. So earlier, this education system, I say that it is the most modern and progressive national education policy of 2020. So, so far, India's tenure of learning was 12 years, from 12 years total. But this education policy, for the first time, decided that Indian students will learn for 15 years. 15 years. So from pre-primary, the government wants to start imparting education to the children. Okay. And another thing was that our Indian school rooms or classrooms are over congested, mainly in rural areas. In a class, 80, 90 students are there and one teacher. And many students cannot listen to the lectures of the teacher who were sitting in the last benches, or in the, what I say, back. So it is a very great problem.
Yeah.
So the government wants to address this problem, and it's a teacher-student ratio will be 30:1. But it is in only writings, that it has not yet been implemented, because I do not find that it has been, because for this purpose, to implement this, the government of India or the state governments will have to recruit lakhs of teachers.
Yeah.
And I hope that government of India and all the state governments will fill up the vacant posts at the earliest to achieve this inclusive education. Right. So additional nutritional facility has started in our schools. Additional nutritional facilities means, sir, Indian I mean in rural areas, students come from in government schools. Students mainly come from poor families, and the government of India so far have been given midday meal. Um, with midday meal, they are they have already on a what do you say on a trial basis they started additional nutritional food, and in some districts the government will continue these additional nutritional facilities for the students of government schools. Okay, then introduction of vocational training, because you see, earlier also vocational training was there in India. It was from class 8, but this government, as the vision of the government is um, to make a world to make the world's to make India as world's manufacturing hub. So
Yeah.
to make India world's manufacturing hub, how can we do this? How can we achieve if we do not provide policy assistance to the governments, to the state governments and the national governments? So the government of India decided to to introduce vocational courses from class 6 to university level. So this is a very good step, and I have found unique features in this national education policy. What? Because you see, no person, no family, no society, no country, or the world as a whole can develop without discipline. And no country, no family, no society can survive and grow without discipline, without its culture, without spirituality. So these are the things which were neglected in India. That's why I find everybody, I mean, people in the world um, is finding that there are so many violence in the world, and India is not exception. India is not an exception. That's why to 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 um, to meet the challenges, government of India introduced through its national education policy its traditional culture, skills, and capacities for the students in both school and in higher education also.
Okay.
In addition to proficiency in languages, students will be taught about scientific temper. It is much necessary. Tolerance, scientific temper, evidence-based thinking. We will think not irrationally. We have to think rationally. Then creativity, innovativeness, sense of aesthetics and art, oral and written communication skills, health and nutrition, physical education, fitness, wellness, sports, collaboration, teamwork, so many things. I'm not telling all. And then constitutional values. Mainly I give emphasis that many Indian people are talking about, or they are fully aware of their constitutional rights. But
Yeah.
most of them, sir, are not aware of the constitutional duties.
Yeah.
What the duties we have towards our country, towards our national flag, towards our national anthem. So this education policy will impart all these things. So this education policy, not only that, some humanistic, ethical, and constitutional and human values will be taught. What are those? There will be truth or satya. Then, see, righteous conduct, that is dharma, peace, shanti, love, prem, non-violence, ahimsa, scientific temper, and citizenship values. So these are the soft skills.
Yeah.
India wants to grow uh, these skills in or among the students
Okay.
who are the the backbone of India, who will actually take our country ahead. because we people know how much what is good. Actually, our students and young people will do this. So we have to tap that particular segment. Mainly, we have to inspire them. We have to inspire them so that they engage themselves fully in national building. So yes, I am saying that time is going very fast. Okay. So higher education also, just higher education system has also been developed. Research in some universities segregated higher education system. Number one, research intensive universities. Number two, teaching intensive universities. And then number three, autonomous degree granting universities. And our so far our graduation system was how much for 3 years graduation, but now it has been increased for 4 years graduation.
Yeah.
And many males multidisciplinary education and research universities are being set up. And then one question is how skilled India is. India is 50.3% of young people are found to be highly employable overall. So Indian not only skilled, Indian students are now skilled, but this is the academic part I told. But here I tell another thing, and that is industrial part. See, our small scale industries, how our small scale in India is having at present, India is having 766 districts and 6,057 number of sub-districts, and somewhere says the Tehsil in Chennai or maybe in Rajasthan also, and some places it is said Tehsil, that is subdivision. So there are 6,057 tehsils are there or subdivisions are there in India, where 28 states and 8 union territories. So you see, I say, and in SSI sector means small scale industry sector, how many? Total in India, 1 crore 5 lakh 21,190 units are existing. And what are small scale industries? Well, up to 25 lakh invest with up to 25 lakh investment, the industries which are grown or which are built. So I say to the government, I recommend to the government that I say that from the PMO office, you just tell only to increase 10 small scale industries, sir, only 10 small scale industries in each subdivision. So a subdivision means with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks.
Yes.
Right. So in every subdivision, only how many? Only 10 small scale industries. I say in a year. Sir, that is also in a year. And it is nothing much. It is nothing. It is not a very big target. It is not impossible. It is not unattainable. Right, sir?
Yeah.
The only thing is that we have to say that you just do this. So then, if at present 6,057 subdivisions are there, sir, if in a year only 10 small scale industries are grown, then how many? There will be 60,570 small scale industries, additional small scale industries in India.
Yeah.
So definitely, if 10% or 10 persons or 10 individuals are involved, then there will be more than 6 lakhs job or earning opportunities. So this is a point I want to tell the government. So India has some highest number of, yes, India has some highest number of unicorns. It is the third in the world, with 66 unicorns, 68 new unicorns have set up, and 14 new yes, unicorns have been set up. And you see that I find that India has also is also having third highest number of gazelles. And you see, what is a gazelle? Now, a gazelle company is a high growth company that has been increasing its revenue by at least 20% annually. Right. So this is also a good trend.
Okay, Keshav, can I
Okay.
just stop you here for a minute? I
Right, sir, please.
No, we are running a bit out of time because I have another
Yes.
person coming up. So what I
Oh,
suggest is that we stop here for the time
okay.
being and we call this
Okay.
as part one, and I'll come
Okay.
back to you and we will do the rest in part two.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Maybe in a given time,
Yeah, we will
or
fix the time offline,
we'll
but
fix that.
we won't stop you, but we will
Yes.
do it in part two. So we will
Right,
call
sir.
this as part one, and then
Right,
we'll
sir.
come back to you in part two because the next person is already signing in. So,
Okay. Okay. So
okay,
we have to stop here. Right, sir.
I have to stop here, but we stopped at
Okay.
the gazelle, and we will see how the gazelle runs in part two. Okay.
Right, sir.
So,
Right.
okay. So
Thank you
thank
very much.
you.
Thank you.
I will communicate the time with you by
Right.
text. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
So let me
Yeah.
end
Thank
this
you, sir.
here and say bye to the viewers and get ready for the next person. So thank you, Keshab. I look forward to coming back to you in part two. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Bye
Thank you.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you very much.